Oh,
Okay, so let's talk about the problem. Let's just say you're sitting down with a family who's making 150,000 a year household, okay, on a lower level. On a higher level, it's just someone who's making $150,000 um on their own. On their own. Obviously, if they're married, that's fine too. But the example I'm going to show you is $150,000 a year income. So whether in California is a nurse, IT, engineer, accountant, whatever, they're going to be paying, they're going to be paying taxes, state, federal, and FICA, which is about 30,000. Okay, easy math. I just keep the numbers simple. 150,000 minus 30,000. What do we have? 120,000. If you divide that by 12, you're looking at what? 10,000 a month net income. So someone who's making 150,000 gross, their net is actually 120. And so the net looks kind of gross, right? That's a joke. All laugh. Everyone laugh. So if somehow you can keep your monthly expenses at about $8,000, you end up saving 2,000, right? 2,000. Does that make sense? Everyone so far follow? Now, most people will save inside their 401k. This person could save 1,500 and they get a 500 matching, okay? Or maybe they don't match. But let's just say 2,000 a month goes into the 401k. Okay, who here has a 401k? Anyone here has a 401k? Your mom has a 401k. Okay. So your 401k now goes and it averages about 8%, which is literally, if you see employees, that's kind of like what they do. They'll put in 401k, some less because they might be conservative. So that little pie chart, they're getting 8%. Now, you all know your compound interest formula, but in 15 years, this is going to be about 680, 680,000. Type on the chat on a scale of 1 to 10 in 15 years, you're having 680,000. If you started saving at 50 years old and now you're 65, you were maxing out the 401k, now you have 680. Is that good, bad, or okay?
mm.
Mm, no, that's a good. Yes, it's good. Better than nothing. Some people will say, okay, who here likes magic? Who here likes magic? Anybody? Magic? Okay, I love magic, man. Like I have a thing where I just watch David Blaine and some of those guys. That's kind of like my but I'm gonna show you magic right now. Out of your 680,000, 25% will go to the IRS, right? We all know that. On a 401k, it's not all yours. Eric, if you had a 401k, if you withdraw money, you have to pay the taxes because this is not yet tax. And so really you only have 520,000, right? You only have 520,000 instead of 680. By the way, I created this course, Freeman, because of your comment. I created
Mm,
this man for you, man. You said,
mm,
I don't think like you, AG. That's what you told me. And so
mm,
this is part one, but only 520,000 is yours. But here's the thing, this is 15 years from now. So how
mhm.
much was gas in 2000? It's about $1. Right now it's about four. So not in California, it's six in California, I think. Right? But let's say it's four. Here in Texas is three. But $1 after 26 years is now $4. That means it doubled twice. So $1 became two and then became four in a 26-year window. So that's about what? That's your inflation. Doubles about 15 years. It's not 3%, man. It's about more along four or five, especially what happened with COVID. So one half buying power, but you save 24,000 for 15 years, which is $360,000.
Mhm.
And now you have only 520, but adjusted for inflation, Freeman, that's
Mhm.
really just 260.
Mhm.
So where'd the 100,000 go? Magic.
Inflation.
Magic. Magic. Now, here's the bigger problem. Your monthly expenses is now 2 times the 8,000 a month. No one is retiring. No one. No one that you know who has a job. No one's retiring. Unless they ran into you. They ran into you or you reach out to them. This is the problem. I call this the black hole of money. Okay? High taxes, inflation, Parkinson's law, high debt, 401k. All of you will go through a session with me learning how to explain this, these steps. Okay? So we're gonna work on what we're gonna work on today, because again, the solution is right, put it on a tax-free plan. If they can have business income, their gross income, even if you add 20,000 in your income and it's business income, suddenly it opens up what I call itemized deductions instead of standard. That's just
Mm.
lingo for you get taxed as employee versus getting taxed as a business owner. Your net income, what you keep now is more. And if you can avoid Parkinson's law, which is luxury or lifestyle inflation, you start buying shiny stuff. Keep it at 8,000. You're now saving 4,500. And if you can get better than S&P, which is we're going to teach you all of that, how to do that, you're now sitting on 2.8 million. 2.8 million in 15 years. Zero goes to taxes because of the way we set it up. And all withdrawals are going to be tax free. Because why? Because we're going to set it up in, and then, so that's how you help people retire in 10 to 15 years, because we set up something that we call, going to fast forward here. Go back, tax-free Trinity, which is now opens up our case study. How do you turn retirement accounts to taxes? And that's what we do in Bring Your Case Tuesdays. So I will always start with a fresh Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet. So the first case we're going to study right now is a case, right, whereby we got someone, let me just open the text and start with um I'll go first with Juan sent me 4 cases. Okay. 59-year-old, 59-year-old, and has 300,000 in a 401k, 300,000, 401k, 401k, and making 120,000 a year. This is income. Okay. This is how much. Okay. The other one, right? I think this is for Lionel. This is I believe this is a 71-year-old. Um, and then there is 650,000 on a 401k. There is 125,000, and this is cash. And there's 400,000, but this is in an annuity. Okay. Okay. And then I think there's around 50,000 Roth IRA. Okay. So we're gonna go over 2 cases today so that you guys can see what are the actual what can we do for them so that they can have tax-free dollars, tax-free income, all the tax-free in the world, and grow their money faster. Let's start with the 59-year-old, which is primed for what we call a ROTH conversion. So both of this essentially are ROTH conversions. I know I showed someone who's probably younger and still have 15 years to work. That's, that's going to be another case. So maybe next Tuesday, if we have time, I'm going to show you a young couple wherein we're going to get them to a really sizable amount in about, you know, uh, 50, they're young right now. They're like 28, and I'll get them to 10 million net worth by the time they're, I think, 45, I think. So here's how this works. You need three things that we're either gonna that you're doing with them. Let's just say I'm gonna use Jamal. Let's say Jamal is the 59-year-old, right? And Jamal has 300,000 401k, makes about 120,000 income. So let's just say Jamal, you're gonna want to retire at 65, 65. Okay, retire at 65. The first thing we're gonna find out is if this is all. Now let's just say this is all there is. The first thing I'm going to try to find out is your social security. Social security. So we're going to try to project social security at 65. That's the first one you want to find out. That's why you want to find out their income, because social security has a calculator on their website and we can find out how much social security they're going to get at 65. So that's the first one. The next one, if they're married or not. They're married, okay? Spouse, social security. Second thing you're gonna want to find out, okay? But if you're sitting down with them, we're gonna try to figure out just based on these assets. But if they're married, then we're gonna account to that. So I don't sell a product. I show them their income in the future, Freeman.
Uh-huh.
So the way I package it is I'm going to show you, let's find out social security. Let's find out your spouse's social security. And I'm going to show you what we'll do with this. And I know what's going to happen here. This 300,000, I'm going to turn this into 600,000 in about 6 years of tax-free income. So it's a Roth conversion of a 300,000 to essentially replace this. Now, it's not going to be a lot because how much we're going to pull out. Well, I'll show you. I'll show you guys. What we have an account for is what they will save from 59 to 65. If they're still working, how much is that too? So that gets added to the whole thing. Everyone follows so far. I don't want to go too fast, but like I said, pull out Social Security, and then if they're married, I'll put this here. Put it over here, and then what they're going to save from 59 to 65. And ideally, instead of saving a 401k, you're going to show them tax-free Trinity. So essentially, this is a rollover and an IUL if they qualify. If they qualify. Okay. So this one, just to let you know, okay, this is how we get paid. Okay. On this Roth conversion, you're gonna get paid twice at the beginning of the Roth conversion and kind of like at the tail end. So let's just say this one is um okay, 12,000. It's also possible. Um and then whatever they're gonna be saving over here. Okay. On the tax-free Trinity, if they're gonna do let's just say 1,500 a month, which is 18,000, and that's probably like 15,000 points. Okay. So 12,000 points, 15,000 points, it's about 28,000 points. If you go here enough, you see all the cases. At the beginning, you're gonna have to match up with either Leia, McConan, Freeman, more of our senior people. Um, but then eventually you get to marketing director, you already know what to do. So I'm just gonna show this on a marketing director contract. If you are able to do this by yourself, okay, MD contract. This is $21,500 in commission. Okay. MD contract. Your SMD, 27,950. So about $28,000. If you can help one person a week, there you go, $100,000 a year. I laugh because we're talking about it, right? Um, so let me go explain how this whole thing is going to happen. By the way, I'm not even showing what you're gonna make once the Roth conversion happens in 7 years. You're gonna get paid there too. Okay. So this is what you call a high ticket. High ticket. Divide 28,000 by 400 and please type it on the chat. Divide it by 400. 28,000 by 400. How many? 70. Okay. That means you have to close 70, 100 a month life insurance policies to make the same amount of money. Term, 100 a month term. Or living trust, too. 70. Or learn this. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to do that. I'm just saying if you're going to sit down with just 5 people a week and you'll close two, would you rather make 800 or 30 to 60,000, right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now it gets crazy because a bunch of you guys are under Leia and some of you guys are under me. So essentially, your business can grow exponentially because if 2 people learn this in close to a month, that's a 100,000 point base shop. Okay. So let's go. Case design. This 300,000 is going to go into something called, let me open it right now, fixed index annuity. There's going to be two options for this. The first one is we're going to convert not all of it, 50% of it. So we're going to convert, oops, let me log in. Oh. So Global Atlantic is, let me just close all this stuff. Global Atlantic, you're gonna learn how to illustrate this real quick. 325503. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna roll over is half of the 300,000, which is 150,000. We're gonna convert that. Okay. We're gonna convert that. And so it's gonna look like this. So this Colorado fixed index annuity income, no, it's for accumulation two. For accumulation two, Colorado, we got a qualified plan, sample, client. This male? I don't know. What are male appearance? It's
Yes.
the same. Yes, male, 300,000. So we're at 59 years old. Okay. And then you don't have to click on any of those. So we're gonna put in here 150,000. 50,000. And then this is a 7-year annuity. You don't have to worry about this. I'm just showing you how I illustrate it. So for those of you who are kind of familiar, you're what you're gonna be withdrawing here is 10%. That's the most you can withdraw. 15,000 for years 1 to 7. That's not a withdrawal, it's a Roth conversion. So Roth conversion is two-step process. You put it first on a fixed index annuity, and then you're gonna move it. You see that? $15,000 every year for 7 years. And so this is what it's gonna look like. It's how this is gonna work if you haven't not familiar with this. Okay. Um, our fixed index annuities, we choose, okay, this is kind of like your S&P 500. They can get 0 if the market's negative or up to 12%. Okay. of the market. So it's kind of like an IUL without the life insurance. That's how a fixed index annuity works. So if the market crashes, they don't lose money, but the market has a gain, 16%, they get 12. So while we're converting the money, they're actually still gaining interest. And this is kind of like what 150,000 looks like. Okay. Let's just say in the first year they get a credit, second year credit, third year no credit, then credit, 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 and then no credit. But at the same time, you're withdrawing 15,000. This is the ROTH conversion because if they're still working, I want you guys to know this, if they're still working, if you convert the whole 150,000, that gets added to their income. So if they're making 150, you convert 150, that's 300,000. And so it's going to put them on a very high tax bracket. So you're just going to convert portions while they're working. Jamal, so Jamal, we're going to convert 15,000 every year out of your 150,000. And that's what this looks like. After 7 years, they're gonna be 59, 60, 61, 62 is like they're gonna be it doesn't show here the age. It does. Right around there, 66 years old, you would have converted the last one, but there's still a balance of 100,000. Okay. Even though you took out 105, there's still 100,000. Pretty cool, right? From the original 150, zero risk. And so now you have this to deal with,
You can do
and
both.
you have 105, and
As
that
long
was
as you want to.
invested somewhere. It was invested somewhere. So I want you to remember these numbers, 100,000 plus 105. Let's just call it 100,000, 100,000. No, 105 is important. So in this whole process, you rolled over 150K. So I made a mistake on what I wrote a while ago. So the first route conversion is based on the 50K. And so that is 150,000 divided by 2. So that's there you go. The other half, the other 150,000, we're going to lock that in as income. Okay. So I'm going to insert another column. So before, what we used to do was we would just put it all here, and that was done. One transaction for the client, but kind of like changed it. And so this now goes to an income annuity. Income annuity. So you have two choices for an income annuity. And I normally will check how much the two companies will give. One is Global Atlantic. You can't go, but in California, it's just one company, it's Athene. So because most of you guys are in California, let me just show Athene. So now we took care of one half of the 300,000. We're going to take care of the other half, the other 150. So now we go to Athene. Athene right now, you guys will have all of your logins in here so that so now we got Athene. He sent me authentication 986174986 So we finished one step, roll over to 150. Globe Atlantic became 207,000. 150 became 270,000. The other 150, we're gonna put it on Athene. Okay. Athene now has this product where you can accelerate the payout much, much bigger on the first 10 years. Let me show you what will happen with 150,000. Say, so sample client is 59 years old, male, and then we're gonna defer this thing. This is qualified money. Now this is, we're not converting, and I'll explain to you why. Explain to you why. So the 150,000 is not set in stone. It might be 200,000, 100,000. I'm just showing a 50-50. So this is now the other 150,000. Okay. And you're gonna use this 100% here. That really doesn't affect anything, just to let you guys know. So here's where it changes. The income benefit option, you choose accelerated. And then because he's gonna start retirement at 65, you're going to do maximum lifetime at year 7. Okay. So this will show how much 150,000 will pay him on the first 10 years of retirement. 65 to 75 is what it will show. How much do you guys think 150,000 will pay out? If you put that on a CD, how much do you think it will pay out for at least 10 years? Oh gosh, don't tell me. Don't give me an error. Just type it on the chat. 150,000. Okay, here we go. Wanna go? 15,000. Ha, close. 20,000 one. So there you go. $20,000. $20,000. Not bad. Okay. So in 7 years, you pretty much got everything back. So it's gonna pay 20,000, but it's not forever ever. It's here. It's gonna pay 20,000 for 20 years, and then it's gonna drop to 12,000. Now, they're gonna say, what? Yeah. But don't worry, that's why the ROTH conversion, because right around here, something's going to happen and we want to keep this low. Right around year 10, something called required minimum distribution is going to happen right around here. So we want to keep this taxable IRA income lower and the bulk of the withdrawals coming from the ROTH, the ROTH. So now we have, I know it takes a little long to kind of like prepare, but trust me, once you've done enough, then we're good to go. So income annuity, it will be 150,000 times 0.062. Okay,
Yeah, you have a typo. You did 105 instead of 150.
did I do? Oh shoot, that's why it's low. Okay, thank you, Juan. More money for you. Hey, when I laugh, I'm not saying like, in a greedy way. I'm just enjoying the whole process.
That's okay. I'll receive it.
This is more fun for me than watching Netflix, okay? This is more fun for me than playing. It's more fun for me doing this stuff. It's so much more enjoyable for me. So I don't have any wasted stuff because on my dead time, I'm just doing cases. So this will pay. Let's go check this out. So the Athene at 65, okay, payout at 65. Athene will pay out, how much was that again? 20,111. 21,111. Ooh, getting good, right? 1,111. And then let's solve for their Social Security. Okay. So he's making 120,000. We need 100 more thousand. Social Security calculator. That's the number one that's going to show up. So if he's 59 and a half right now, he was born, I think, 1955. So let's just say this is 1955. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on 1965, not 55. That's crazy. 1965. And he made 120,000 current year. Is that correct? 2025, 2026 minus 2026 minus 1965. 61. I messed up. It's younger, 67. So it's very important to get the date of birth correct. Minus 1967. Okay, 59. There you go. 120,000. So last year, 2025, let's just say he made 120,000 and he wants to retire in 6 years. So it's going to be let's just say 6, 20, 20, no, 2031 when he's gonna retire. Inflated, okay? Maybe it's gonna be 2032. I don't know. So I'll calculate this. Oh, there you go. It's only 64, so my bad. Let's go. Oops. Ah. I always mess that up when I click on the back. Oh my goodness. That's not the same thing. Okay. Sorry. So at least you see it repeated again. So it's born 1967. $120,000 a year. This is income. Last time he made that income, let's just say 2025, under 20,000 a year. By the way, here's the link, so you guys can mess around with this. But if they're close to retirement, I can have them create a login on Social Security just to get the accurate number. So 06 2032. Now we got a more accurate number. Inflated because Social Security has something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. It goes up by about 2.8% every year. There you go. We now have 3,268. Good number. Good number. Okay. Good number that I actually forgot what it is, 3,268. So I'll put it here, 3,268 times 12 equal sign. Okay. Now we got 39,000. We got 21,000. So far, we got this plus this. 60,000. We're not even at the Roth IRA, okay? So far we've covered half of his income. Now let's take care of that Roth IRA that was $15,000 every year. Not to mention, we still have what? That 100,000 inside Global Atlantic. Okay? So you still have 100,000 here, plus this 15,000. I only showed you guys the other 150 that was in the income annuity plus Social Security. We haven't showed you what happened to this money. Now, you can turn this into the thing income too at this point if you want, or continue to convert it, or you're going to put it where we put this over here, which is the last part, This is where you bring me along. And it doesn't have to be when you do the Roth conversion. This could be sometime, anytime this year, where I'm going to help you put this 15,000 in, because it has to be liquid, into a fixed income bond or a mutual fund. Okay. Let me explain this part, and this is where it changes like the whole dynamic of what they're gonna have. Okay. So I'm gonna show so again, we have two offers, right? I went over the first offer, which is the 401k. Okay. Second offer is the Roth conversion. Okay. You have 59 and a half, 500,000 or more. Again, could be 300,000. This is just the ads I will release on Facebook. So on that Roth conversion, I'm going to explain something just so it makes sense for them to put it where we're going to put it. So I tell them the market right now is in an all-time high, higher than the internet bubble. This is as of April 3rd. Okay. And you guys will have all access to this presentation, just to let you know. And this is not in Canva, Leia. It's in Google Slides. Okay. Internet bubble. This is what happened. And then we got AI bubble happening right now. This is where we're going to put the ROTH conversion. Because two things can happen. One, despite the war and the AI bubble, the stock will continue to go up and nothing will stop it. It'll just keep on going up right now, even though we're closing on 3 degrees beyond what is normal price. Okay. That's scenario one. Scenario two, it's going to follow what happened on the internet bubble. It kind of went down before it had the greatest run. So let's just say that's what's going to happen for the next 2 years. And then from here, it's going to have the greatest run. Okay. So there's going to be a crash first, triggered by AI bubble, war, et cetera, et cetera. And then it bottoms out, and then we ride on the way up. So two scenarios can happen in the stock market, which will happen to your 401k unless we do what we just showed you we're going to do. We're going to lock in your money and prevent any losses anymore. Lock in the money. So if scenario B happens, you can keep it in your 401k. Again, this example is 500,000. Let's just say 300,000. After 6 years, it crashes. And then the last time it did a major crash, it took 10 years before it broke even. See, when a market loses 50%, it has to make 100% just to recover. So if you keep it there, let's just say 400,000 after 6 years. So you actually lost. And then you have taxable income. Or we do this ROTH conversion. After 60 years, your 500,000 is now 800,000, and it's going to pay out about 64,000 a year. So go back here. So what are we going to do? Like I said, about 8 months ago, Transamerica partnered with Fidelity. Okay. And so what's going to happen is the first two 15,000, we're just going to put it on something safe inside Fidelity, like a fixed interest treasury, going to get them about 5% during those first 2 years when it's crashing. It will do zero on a fixed index annuity, maybe when it crashes, and then you get at least they're going to have interest. So this 500,000, and I'm just going to show you guys on a simple formula here. This 15,000, let's just say we'll make 5%. Okay. And then the next 15,000, you will have this plus this, and then it's going to increase by the way, you're not doing this in front of the client. You meet up with me, and then we're going to do this together in like a one-on-one session before you meet with a client, and then you're going to practice how to explain it, etc., etc. I'm just showing you guys my process. Okay, you are not explaining this to your client. Okay. I hope that was clear. Times 1.05 again. Oops. See? Because I didn't put multiply here. Okay. Okay, so we're now at 32,000 after the first 50. Not a lot, not a lot. But now this is, let's just say, this is end of 2027, and this is 2028. And now the first two 15,000s were at 32,875. We still have 5 conversions, 5 ROTH conversions. And at that point, we have this tool, and we're going to use the AI crash. We're going to write AI. You don't know who's going to win the AI war. ChatGPT, Gemini, or what's that one? Claude. I don't know which ones, but I know for a fact all of them will use chips, which is semiconductor, which is FAALX, semiconductor fund, and then let's just use that, right? And the starting point over here is what? 32,000. 32,000. That's the initial. After the bonds, we move it here. Oops. Let me put that. In the next 5 years, so he's making 120. It's not really that important, these parts over here. I'm just showing you guys this whole process. And then we're gonna be putting in 15,000, and it's gonna be similar to, let's just say, last 5 years. Okay. Or at least from yeah. So this is what it'll look like. Okay. Oops. I did monthly. My bad. That is not 15,000 per month. This is annual. Okay, let's do that again. So this is now the ROTH conversion from the global Atlantic. We're gonna put it on Fidelity. And there you go. The 15,000 that was moved, it is now 309,000. Okay, 309,000. So essentially double. Okay. So I go back here. I got now ROTH, Fidelity, 309, or just 300,000. Now here's what they can pull out from the 300,000 while it's in there. Pull out 8%. Okay. So now we got 84,000. 84,000. And the last one, so far so good? I guess so. We're at 84,000. And we still have that 100,000. 100,000. And we're gonna put that on that Athene lifetime income of, but obviously it's not, they can't wait. It's Colorado. Central bonus. Again, 59. And then qualified policy, 100,000. Same thing here, rider. Accelerated withdrawals, maximum lifetime starting year 1. So the report will be so this is 8,000. It will pay out. Oh, shoot, wrong age. He's gonna be 65 already. My bad. Let's redo that. This point gonna be 65. Let's do that again. It's probably gonna be like a little bit more, not 8,000. Just a shave, a little bit more. Almost there. Almost there. Gosh. Okay. So 8,500. See this? There you go. 8,500 over here. And now we add that here. Athene 2. This is the one that's from the global. 8,500 over here. And now we add this all up. Sum 92,000. Okay. Now, if somehow the spouse also makes money, then that gets added. So there's a shortfall, right? He makes 120,000, but we'll only have 92,000. Okay. The cool part is this Roth IRA and Fidelity, this will increase every year. Just to let you guys know. By about 12%. Okay. Now, what is missing is this. How much can he save? Can he save from 59 to 65? And that is where you recruit him and then get him to make extra income, get him to save 30,000 a year for the next 6 years. And let's just say 30,000 a year, and that gets, the way we set it up, I think that becomes in 6 years, 30,000 times 6 is 360,000. So in 6 years, it's probably going to have another $700,000 on top of what he has. So if this gets to about 700,000, if he does the business, if he doesn't, then he'll probably save 24,000 a year times 6 years. Instead of having 700,000, he'll probably have 300,000. Okay. But at 8%, 700,000 is $56,000. And that's how you get him to $150,000 a year when he retires with 300,000 at 59. Can you close this one? All day? Okay, cool. So, Lionel, I hope you got that. I know it's a little confusing, but if you see it multiple times, it'll start clicking. 5 product of we got Athene, lifetime income here, under Athene here, and then Global Atlantic will be gone by the time they retire. He'll have income from Athene and income from Fidelity. He's gonna set up an IUL with the Roth over here, and that's the one that's gonna be about 15,000 points. Also, when you roll over that 100,000 later on, that's going to be a little bit more money. But if we add this all up, this is no longer going to be. So if I add this, oh, what I do? I forgot. But anyway, but yeah, that's kind of like how the whole thing will work out. So that's the first one. Oh my gosh. So we don't have the DTA thing. I'll probably spill over about 10 minutes. So let's take care of the 71-year-old. It's again very similar with the same products that we used a while ago. Okay. So the 401k is going to go to our Roth conversion. So this one will be a Roth conversion. Global Atlantic. Also probably going to be split up, Global Atlantic. If not, so let's end Athene, for example, because she's about to go into required minimum distribution. So we're probably just going to convert about 400 here, and then we're going to put into Athene the other 350. So Roth conversion, let me just go do this. 400,000, and then Athene is the difference. Okay. This is 40,000. Well, 650 minus this. There you go. So we got the Roth IRA here. That will get combined with the Roth IRA that you guys will be building. And then the 175,000 in cash will probably put into another probably go FIA. This will take care of, let's just say this is 125 minus 50,000. We're gonna leave 50,000 liquid. Okay, 75,000 here. Okay, here's how this will work. So we got here around total assets here. We can't touch this annuity right now, maybe later, because it's still in surrender. So right now, the money you're gonna be moving here is this one plus this one. So let's just say it's about 1 million. Okay, 1,000,001. So the Roth conversion first is to remove taxes if it's gonna be inherited or use it as income, right? If you can convert like the whole thing, it's challenging because you still have to do the staggered method. So on Global Atlantic, I'm gonna go back here. This is she's now 71, female. This is, let's just say, in Georgia. Okay, benefits, funding withdrawals. This is 400,000. And we're going to convert 40,000 a year. Years 1 to 7. Quick reports. Oops, this got messed up. How much? 33. Okay. Okay. So we have similar to the 150,000 a while ago. But this one's 400,000. We're gonna convert 40,000 every year over here. After 7 years, she will still have about 250,000, and we would have moved 280,000. Okay, so that's one. So step number one, so 400,000. Step number two, the Athene income, which is the other, what? 250,000. So on Athene, and again, I don't know yet what is their intention. If they want to transfer this, they want income, you have to find out all of those answers. I'm just saying, if this person is about to hit RMD, the IRS will force her to start withdrawing. And so we gotta at least give the IRS what they're going to want to get. So I might as well have her take out, she doesn't have to spend it, but might as well take out the highest withdrawal she can get if she is being forced to withdraw anyway. So the highest withdrawal again is through Athene. Similar product that we use with the previous. It's a accelerated payout. So this 250,000 will pay out. So again, it's going to pay about 11% or 10% or 9%. I forget at 71 if you want immediate income. So 250,000 will pay out. Oh, why is it the wrong number? Because I inputted 100,000. 250,000. So it looks like it's gonna be about $20,000. Okay. 20,000 and change. 22,200. Okay, Leia is what it's gonna get on that. Let me download this. So what I do is when I run it, I'll just download it and then it'll be there. 15, 250K, 71. Okay, so now we have 22,000 on this income schedule. Income schedule. Okay, so the 250,000 will pay 22,000 200. That'll address required minimum distribution. And then this one, we're gonna convert it. So same thing, what we got a while ago, ROTH conversion. Let me add another column to the right. So this is the ROTH conversion. And what ends up happening is income schedule balance. So now it's divided into two. Like we said, what got converted was the 400,000 times 40,000 to 80 on one side. ROTH IRA after 7 is 280,000. That's not yet the balance, okay? We're gonna put that on the investment, just like the one a while ago. And then here, Global Atlantic balance after 7 too. So we still got a balance in the Global Atlantic after 7 years of about 250,000. Okay. So same thing with the 40,000 a year for 7 years. If I ran that here, so we were starting here, let's say $100, or I put here 10,000, and then we're putting here 40,000, but it's now gonna be 7 year. So let's just say it is 2019 to 2026. So that 40,000 for 7 years is now 864,000. Again, if we do the strategy, right? 854, maybe plus minus. I'll just put in 800,000. Okay. ROTH after, no, sorry, put that here. 800,000 ROTH after 7 years. Okay. Now she can start taking out income here of 8%, but this is now tax-free income. The existing balance here, we can also start converting, but let's just say she just wants to take out income from here too. Or convert the rest. Again, it's up to her. So let's just say we don't take out income here, just go convert it. And if you convert 250,000, again, the whole process, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. 250,000, 25,000 a year, or convert it 125,000 per year. I know. You know what? I don't want you guys get confused. So let's just say this just starts paying out at 8% too. Or you put it on the Fidelity or the Athene, It's just that on that's now just up to you. So from the total, oh, we have to put that ROTH in. So let's just say the ROTH grew by triple. Okay. Let's just say this is now 950,000. Okay. So the total money you moved was 650 plus this. Oh shit, we haven't even touched the cash. Okay. Just use that to pay the taxes on the Roth conversions. So essentially you turn 700,000 into a lifetime income of 99,000. We haven't touched the annuity yet or the cash here, but just that the Roth IRA and then this. So we get about 99,000 and from the 700,000. This is at 71 though. Okay. So she'll keep on receiving that. While the rest of the money, let's just say this 950,000 will grow because you're only withdrawing. I want to show you what that 950,000 will actually look like if you're just taking out first step. So 950,000, if you put it on that semiconductor fund, will probably average about 15. And then for the next 20 years, okay, and she's only taking out withdrawing 8% a year. There you go. Would have withdrawing 87,000, 93,000, 99,000, 100,000, 121, 130. So these are the withdrawals every year, tax-free withdrawals. But then, so she would have withdrawn 3.5 million in 20 years, and there's still 3.6 million that will be inherited by the family. Okay. And that's just the Roth. She qualifies for life insurance. We're going to set up the life insurance by redirecting some of the money there. So I don't think we have time to do that. I said I will spill over about 10 minutes. If you guys don't have to go yet, fire away your questions. I know it was quite a bit of numbers, but again, these are two cases that we did about 30 minutes each. I just had to explain a little bit more, but look what we did. 300,000. Assuming this person will be able to save, we get him to 148. But if he just does regular saving, doesn't do the business, this will probably be at about 130, 130 or one. Yeah. So you can have them have more. Now this person, the 700,000, what we basically did is address RMD, have extra 99,000 a year for the next 20 years on top of what she's making right now and still transfer about $4 million. I'm not even including a possible life insurance that we can set up. Okay. That's not bad. And that's what we do. Yes, sir. Any questions? Good. Okay. How much does this pay? Let's see if the person who's doing the hair is going to get promoted to marketing director. Okay. Points. Done. 32,000 points. So if you have both of these clients this month and it's just you, you make 21,000 the first one, and this one you make 16,000 as a marketing director. Okay. So that's what 21,000 plus 16,000. $37,850 to clients. If you can do that every month, and we have a whole thing, which is Leia spearheading right now. Here's how it works. Last. If you guys can just stay one more minute. No, maybe two. So our compensation, this complicated one. Let me open the simpler one. Oh, this was the simpler one. Oh, I think I transferred it. So again, let's just say legacy creators did 10 recruits, or your bishop did 10 recruits. Because of 10 recruits, some people set up an IUL, some people did a rollover. Conservative, these 10 recruits will generate 30,000 points, maybe more. Ideally, for every recruit, you want to get to about 5,000 points. And I just showed you if you recruited those two people, they would have, and recruit doesn't mean they're going to start a business. Recruit, we go in, I personally do. When you join, I tell them 125, I'll give you 4 free sessions. 4 free sessions, and I'm going to explain the big picture, which is kind of like what I explained to you guys earlier. So based on what our team's doing right now, this is a 10% growth of number of people you're helping, which is enrolling into your program. They join, and then you do their thing, you do their F&A, and then we do a transaction with them. And let's just say this is very low ball. I'm expecting at least 7,000 points for every recruit if we set them up with the IUL and a rollover. Your goal is in the next 12 months to grow from a double-digit recruiting pace of 10% every month. So you go from 10 recruits a month, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18. Let's just say until you get to about a pace of 30 recruits a month, and you're averaging 7,000 points per recruit. That means you're going to make about $72,000 a month. Okay, so that's close to $1 million in about a year. So this is what you're going to live on. Now, you're not going to spend all of that money. Ideally, out of the $1 million, you pay the taxes and you save about 600,000. Okay, you spend the 200,000, taxes 200,000. You keep the 600,000, invest it in the same investment that we're recommending our clients. Get about 15%. In about 15 years, that's going to be 28 million. Okay. So this is now what your family will inherit, but you live on this. That's what you're recruiting people to do. Does that make sense? And it's driven by 10 recruits, 5 VGOs. 12 recruits, 6 VGOs. As long as we're averaging 10 guests per VGO, and then they're qualified. We're converting them, and all of you guys kind of like in about 3 months, you'll have mastered this here because we would have done 24 cases already. But that is the system that you run. Any questions? Eric? Do you realize this is what you got into? So, Steve, it's first time I'm meeting you, man. Whose team are you on? I don't know. So look, whose team is Steve on? Michaela, is that good? Glow, Lalo. So every Tuesday we study cases. So if you guys have someone, send it to me over, and we'll go over the cases. But essentially, it's almost like the same. You guys saw Global Atlantic and then Athene. What does an IUL looks like? What does a tax-free Trinity looks like? Essentially, so most of your clients, after seeing that their 2,000 a month in a 401k is only going to be 680,000 taxable, what you're going to teach them is we're going to replace your 2000 a month 401k. On the first 2 years, it's going to be inside an IUL, right? So this is about 20,000 points, just to let you know. But they're only going to do that 24 or 2000 a month on the first 2 years. After that, it's going to be a bit funded. You can drop the 2000 to 400 a month, okay? While the 1,600 will now also go to the same investment we were converting those Roth IRAs into. And so in about 20 years, they have 160,000 here and about 1.8 something million. So that's about $2 million of tax-free money, assuming they never increase their savings. But if you recruit them and they save extra 10,000 a year, then this turns to like $3 million. And that's how you want to be able to just help everyone who has a 401k, either they're about to retire or that's where they're saving on. It's open season, and every time you sit down with 10, you find a leader type individual. That's the person you work on. You teach them our system, and before you know it, you have a team and you've helped a ton of folks essentially put in $2 million, $3 million into their future just because you reached out to them, invited them to a VGO, and then explain them all of this.
AG,
Yes.
hey, you have some questions in the chat
Yeah.
from
So
Freeman Jamal.
sorry, I just looked at it. Thanks, man. So what about clients we have already served with a rollover? Well, that's already completed. So annuities you can't move it multiple times. If you roll them over, you can still convert it into the thing. So yeah, you can do that, and then depending on the product you use, then you can change it later on. But right now you can't do anything if you already did that. Like again, I said this thing just became available because of the new changes in Transamerica. What is the least amount that can be rolled over? 25,000, Jamal. 25,000. How do I determine how much to put in each bucket? So great question, Freeman. So when someone doesn't do a Roth conversion, this is what happens. Okay. Let's just say they're just gonna make $50,000 a year from their IRA. And like the example we showed a while ago, 40,000 on a Social Security. Okay. So this IRA of 50,000, let's just say because they're doing it the traditional way, it's coming from $1 million. Okay. Social Security will only be taxed if your IRA distributions is over 25,000. Now, 50,000 minus standard deduction is only going to be 35,000. Standard deduction is at 15,000, so 35,000. So that means because that's 50,000, they will get taxed on Social Security. Okay. So how do I determine how much each bucket? I want to keep the taxable income to be after standard deduction below 25,000. So it's okay for someone to make 40,000 a year on a pension because they're going to get the standard deduction of 15,000. Okay. So now the taxable pension is now just 25. And so they're still not going to be taxed on Social Security because so how do I calculate which goes to each bucket? I have to run the numbers of how much is the taxable income, and then we're gonna find out what is the tax-free income. Okay, Freeman? And most of the time, you want to keep them below 40,000 taxable income, so they stay at zero. They said zero taxes on Social Security. So 40,000 is kind of like the magic number. But like all of us, let's just say, even when we're retired, we have a business. One thing I wanted to show you guys is when we present this, because there's so many layers, Sorry, I know I'm going over. But okay, let me just show you. Promise, one less. Okay. We will show them an income schedule, Freeman. We're gonna build this for them so that they can kind of like see clearly. So this is, this is the one that we're doing with Roman because it's an agent in her team. Essentially, we're ROTH converting about like I said, 700,000. Um, and so this will pay out quite a bit tax free. But the reason I opened this up because I have a file here of when you join us and you get licensed, some people I tell them you need a 1099 and they're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna work 1099 as a nurse. Well, the thing is, the IRS will look at your business based on what you can write off. Us, we're a marketing company. So I show them you can write off this much in your home office, you can write off cell phone, you can write off transportation, hotels, airline tickets. So essentially, and let's just say you still have interest in your mortgage, this is about $100,000 of tax deductions. So standard deduction for a couple is about 30,000. If they join you and you teach them that now they have a business, they can now write off all this stuff. Now they can write off 100,000. Okay. So like the people who reach out to me and our team and they want to be able to, I just send them this list and then you can go figure out, right? These are all deductions you can get. And there you go, 100,000. So let's just say you guys are making 150,000 as a household and you make 50,000 WFG, but then you're able to write off 100,000. So you're really now taxable income is just 100,000. Okay. Even while you're making that extra money. So there you go. Why did I show this? One, because you want to be able to, this is their money. And again, this is $1 million, close to $1 million, right? And so I want them to understand it. Now, there's going to be some folks that they'll just, once you tell them this is what's going to happen, okay, then let's go ahead and get to started process. This just so happened this person is very technical, and I have to create it so that they can understand the step by step. Okay. So yeah, so I hope this helps. Again, normally we just go for an hour, but I appreciate all of you guys who hopped on. If some of these are like going a little bit over your head, that's super normal. Super normal. Trust me, when you see this 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, it'll all kind of like make sense. And just because you have a license, essentially you can double your income. Whatever's your annual income, you can double it here. I'm telling you that right now. It is just so many people that you can help. What if the decision is made in what would change? What if the decision is made in the USA? That Social Security is also